right, good morning. Good morning. We are now officially live and beginning our Transform Westside Summit. So thank you for being here. Just so everyone knows, all the cameras are up and running, and we're up live on our social media channels. And I'm happy to host this morning. I'm John. I'm President and CEO of the Westside Future Fund. Here with my awesome co-host, Ebony.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? How's y'all Chick-fil-A? It's good? Good, yeah. It was free, too. That makes it even better, right? Amen. My name is Ebony Ford. I am a proud resident of the English Avenue, right here on the west side. Very proud parent of my son, Jeremiah, who attends Hollis, again, on the west side. So I'm all about the west side, best side. As I say, everything else is just the rest side. Hey, Sean. Good to see y'all. John?
Well, thank you. We'd like to always at least start our Transform Westside Summit by welcoming folks who have never been here before. So if you've never been to a Transform Westside Summit, would you please raise your hand? Just want to welcome.
Yes.
All right, I see a few folks over there. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Good to see y'all. We got a dance number for you to do later, okay, for your first time here.
For our newcomers, our program, Ebony and I will speak for a few more moments, and then we'll have our devotion speaker. So we'll introduce her in just a few minutes. Then we'll do self-introductions to build community and networking. And then we're really excited for our speaker this morning, Courtney English, the mayor's chief policy advisor, special advisor to the mayor, to walk through the mayor's great work on some of Atlanta's most hard-hit neighborhoods, including English Avenue, Vine City. And we'll have a little time for Q&A as well with Courtney before we wind up at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sounds good. Thank you, John. That vision really speaks to what we care about here on the West Side: partnership, inclusion, and sustainable change. I'm especially looking forward to hearing from Courtney about how this group project approach is translating into real progress for legacy residents and how we, as a community, can stay actively involved in shaping what comes next, because it's coming. So, excited for that.
And especially appreciating that June is National Homeownership Month. Is anyone here interested in buying a home? All right, this is for you. These next slides are for you. As part of our work with the Westside Future Fund, we bought up a fair amount of vacant lots in English Avenue, Vine City, and now bringing those online as homes. And we want to show you are some of the homes we have for sale. We have community retention guidelines to prioritize folks for our homes. So have you lived in the neighborhoods? Have you worked in the neighborhoods? Did you graduate from one of the local schools or local colleges? We have our Home on the West Side team here. Tamika and Nicole, raise your hands. So if you're interested in following up, please connect with them. So these are some, I'm going to step here to show some of what we have for sale right now. So some of the lots are really narrow in English Avenue, which is why you see that narrow home. I think we had a couple more. Is that it? All right. And then we actually had an open house just about 2 weeks ago. And so if you would love to, want to see kind of a mix of both renovations and new builds. And over the rest of this year, we plan to bring online about 20 or more homes. And as, part of our work, we offer down payment assistance. Our average down payment assistance award is $50,000, and it often layers on top of what Invest Atlanta Housing offers. So there's a lot of buy down potential once you qualify for a mortgage. All right, I think so for those of you that raise your hand that are interested in buying a home, we'd love to follow up with you. And I think if we have a few of our home on the west side, I see Sean, so if you bought a home from us, raise your hand. Sean, so yep, another there, so great.
Congrats.
So we appreciate you being here this morning as well.
Congrats, perfect. So it's real, right? You have to have people here to show that it's a real thing. I mean, come on, right? And it's excellent too. We also invite you guys to get engaged with us with Westside Future Fund via Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Facebook. If you are watching the summit on YouTube right now, please subscribe to our channel. And if you are here in person today, thank you again for coming out. Make sure you get your raffle tickets for our Home Depot and Goodwill gift card giveaway later on in the summit. It is now time for our devotion. Amen. It's become our tradition to begin our meetings with a positive, inspirational message from a member of our community. Recognizing that many in our community are driven by their spiritual faith to participate in the Westside revitalization effort, the time at the beginning of our meetings is an opportunity to share various inspirational reflections. While the speakers may articulate their personal faith, it's meant to be inclusive, inspiring, and meaningful, with the story of Nehemiah as our guide. I'm honored to introduce to you today's devotion speaker, Michele Ogden, a woman whose journey is as vibrant as her heart is for service. Originally from Buffalo, New York, Michele now calls the Westside home and pours her energy into guiding Spelman students toward meaningful career paths. I'm not used to having a handheld, you guys, so it's kind of hard with the paper, excuse me. Michele brings both creativity and compassion to everything she does, whether it's helping a student land their dream internship, nurturing her community garden, or biking the Beltline with her 3 dogs in tow. 3 dogs. Got your hands full, Michele. She truly embodies the spirit of the beloved community. As someone who dreams of buying a home through Westside Future Fund's Home on the Westside program, Michele shares our vision of rootedness and reinvention. Please join me in welcoming Michele Ogden to lead us in this morning's devotion. Hi, Michele.
The title of my devotional today is Planting What We Hope to See. Now, I'll just start by saying I'm not a biblical scholar, so you may hear me mispronounce a name or two, but we're just going to roll with it. So, hello? Above the horse gate, the priest made repairs, each in front of his own house. Next to them, Zadok, son of Immer, made repairs opposite his house. Next to him, Shemaiah, son of Shechaniah, the guard at the east gate, made repairs. Next to him, Hananiah, son of Shelemiah, and Hanun, the 6th son of Zalaph, repaired another section. Good morning, everyone. It's a blessing to be here with you today. Let's take a few minutes to reflect on the truth that's been growing in me lately. Something rooted in the story of Nehemiah, in the soil of community gardens, and in the lives of blossoming students. The book of Nehemiah tells the story of a man who saw his beloved city, Jerusalem, broken. Its walls were torn down, its gates burned, its people scattered, weary and unsure. But instead of turning away, Nehemiah turned toward the rubble, with prayer in his heart and purpose in his hands. And what happened next is one of the most beautiful chapters of community restoration in all of Scripture. In chapter 3, often overlooked, we get a list. Not a flashy miracle, just names. People, assignments. But here's the powerful part. Each family, each person rebuilt the wall in front of their own house. They didn't wait for someone else. They looked at what was right outside their front door, rolled up their sleeves, and said, I've got this part. That reminds me of something happening just down the street from me on James P. Brawley at the neighborhood community garden. Every week, folks gather to cook out, to swap stories, sell produce, and tend to their raised beds. This year, my neighbor invited me to plant something of my own. Now, I'm not what you would call a master gardener, but I showed up, I dug in, and planted some herbs and some tomatoes, and some okra too. And week by week, I watched those little green leaves push through the soil, stretching towards the sun, unfolding in time. That raised bed became something sacred, not just a place to grow food, but a place to grow community. People laugh there. People share recipes, they check on each other, they build something together, just like Nehemiah's neighbors. And in another garden, a very different kind, I see the same thing happening down the road at Spelman College, where I have the honor of working with young women on their career journeys. These students are bright, bold, and full of potential, but they're also still growing, still taking root. Some are unsure, some are stretching towards bigger things bigger than themselves. And some just need a little sunlight and a little support. And when we pour into them through mentoring, opportunity, and our presence, we are planting seeds in the soil of their dreams. We may not see the full harvest, but we trust in the growth. We water what we cannot yet see. That's Nehemiah work, that's gardening work, and that's community work. Nehemiah teaches us that rebuilding doesn't start in City Hall. It doesn't start with experts or perfect conditions. It starts right in front of your own house, on your block, in your school, in your garden, and at your table. It starts with you and with me, and the small sacred things we say yes to. So let me ask you this morning, what are you planting? What section of the wall is yours to repair? Who are you showing up for week after week with love and intention? Maybe it's a garden, maybe it's a student, maybe it's a neighbor or a corner lot or a community program that keeps you going, but you keep going. Whatever it is, that's holy work. And when each one of us show up for our part of the wall, the whole city rises. We build with hands that know the soil, that turn the earth, that plant with toil. We raise up walls with steady grace, each stone laid firm in its own place. We start where broken things reside, not far away, but just outside. Our doors, our homes, our hearts, our street, where gardens root and people meet. We water what we cannot see and trust in what the seeds will be. We feed the soil, we mend the cracks. We pull the weeds and we don't look back. Our students bloom like morning sun, their stories just now being spun. And we, like gardeners, cheer them on until the fear and doubt are gone. This work is sacred, quiet, slow. It moves beneath, it starts below. But oh, the beauty that will rise when hope takes root before our eyes. So build and plant and trust the day that what we tend will find its way. This is the work, we are the crew. The wall, the bloom begins with you. Thank you.
So I really, especially appreciate, your point. We all need to take our piece of the wall and how we, do our part in building community. And what's awesome to hear is you're exemplifying that because you're doing it not only, you gave the story about historic Westside Gardens over on James P. Brawley, but often in growing all the students at Spelman College. So, thank you for speaking with such authenticity this morning. I think it trumps any scholarship. So let's give her another round of applause for such a great. And kind of in our theme of the devotion this morning of building community, of growing community, we know it's a great way to do that by getting to know each other. So the next part of our Transform Summit, and I think most of y'all are familiar with it, for our new people, what we do in the next part of this is I'm going to move around the room, and we'd love for you to stand up to introduce yourself, to say your name, maybe where you live or your association, and then as much as you want to keep talking, we'd love for you to really just stop. And we're really excited about our presentation this morning for Courtney, so we just it's more a reflection of the clock. We know whatever you would say next would be great. And when you speak, make sure you hold the mic relatively close to your mouth. And we're just going to go, row by row. Do you want? Yeah. And I'll start right over here with some folks I know are very familiar with this.
Good morning, everyone.
Yep.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Leroy Wright. I'm the senior pastor of First Thessalonian Missionary Baptist Church, and I'm a Spelman dad.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alan Bell with Atlanta Resource Foundation, and I am about to have my third grandchild in December.
Congratulations. Good morning.
I'm Archie Emerson. I am one of the brokers, agent. I'm the broker owner of Dedicated Realtor Incorporated, and I own NIDACA Emerson, which is a housing counseling agency. And my son went to Clark, Atlanta.
Good morning, Caitlin Behringer, Open Hand Atlanta.
Good morning, Jerry Kiernan, Campus Insights Media. We help universities get research out to the public.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Britt Hunter. I'm a Columbus, Ohio native. OH. Thank you. I am 3 years in. I'm a Grove Park resident, and Microsoft brought me here, but now I'm doing my own youth development leadership.
Oh, great. We'll go right that way.
Yep, right.
Good morning, I'm Dan Cathy. I'm the proud father of Ross Cathy, who, oh, there he is over there.
Hello, my name is Dexter Patterson. I'm with Fifth Third Bank. You're probably familiar with the bank. We're looking at making investments in the Grove Park area. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sandra Bush, and I'm a legacy resident of the Booker T. Washington neighborhood. Booker T. and I have something in common. We both finished Hampton University.
Good morning. Name is Courtney Counts. I am the Chief Growth and Innovation Officer with KTC, the Creative Transformation Company. We specialize in building brands, cultivating community, and making movements move.
Good morning. My name is Gabby, and I'm getting my master's in urban studies at Georgia State, and I'm interning with Atlanta Way 2.0 and Support a Report this summer.
Go Panthers.
Hi, my name is Asia Woodard. I'm a senior at Spelman College. I'm majoring in comparative women's studies with a focus in film, and I'm interning with Atlanta Way 2.0 and Support a Report this summer.
I'm Britton Edwards. I'm the COO of Atlanta Way 2.0.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tori Wynn. I'm Managing Director of Gensler. We're a global and local architecture firm.
Hello, my name is Matthew Coleman. I'm the CEO and founder of VI Capital Lending Group and Vision Group RE Development, and I'm also the chair for the Real Estate and Professional Service Committee of the Atlanta Black Chamber, and I'm a new dad.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jalen Maddox. I work in IT, and I just purchased my first home through English Avenue.
Bob Butler, Co-op Banker Real Estate.
Good morning. I'm Leila Gill with the Empire Board of Realtors and also NID Housing Counseling Agency.
Hi, my name is Annie Lim Chiku, founder of La Papo. We focus on care coordination for families of children with disabilities.
Good morning. I'm Kashi Sehgal. I am founder and CEO of Rataza. We source locally from farmers, and we operate markets all over the West Side.
Good morning. My name is Solon Goiba, and founder of a Quantum Do, where spirit drive performance.
Good morning, family. I'm Tillman Ward, Community Resources of Historic Vine City, Marsh Brown grad, and we appreciate all those who are helping us with our community gardens, where we have a garden of opportunity, and as you've seen and witnessed on the west side, the very humble creating the most phenomenal. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Taylor Schumacher, and I work for a local marketing and PR firm, Jackson Spalding.
Hello, everybody. My name is Armani Kadar. I also work for Jackson Spalding.
Good morning, Michael Tyler, ATDC, Georgia Tech.
Good morning, I'm Tasha Ford. I'm a community engagement consultant and also Clark Atlanta alum.
Good morning. My name is Cassandra Kirk. I serve as your Chief Magistrate Judge in Fulton County.
Hi, good morning. Alexander Easterling. I'm here on behalf of Athletes Media Excellence, where we serve youth on the west side as well as throughout Metro Atlanta. Thanks. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sean Snelling. I'm the CEO and founder of Forged & Co., which our mission and base is sustainability. One of our programs that we run is called Camp Marin, which is an immersive sustainability camp for adults.
Thank you. Down here.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Joe Badgett, the program manager for Goodwill of North Georgia.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm actually a DOGE and RIF federal employee of the beautiful agency AmeriCorps, but on a lighter side, also the president of the Board of Groundwork Atlanta, serving the zip code 30318.
Good morning. I'm Heather Hesse-Coker, Executive Director of Groundwork Atlanta.
Good morning. I'm Charles Merriweather, representing Goodwill, where we put people to work.
Good morning. My name is Ebony. I'm from Atlanta and I live in Vine City.
Hello, I'm a Westside resident and owner of Be Creative Rentals, and my name is BB Cambria.
Good morning. I'm Lisa Norris. I'm also a Westside resident, and I'm also with Cambria, with Be Creative Rentals.
Good morning, everyone. I think I'm the third Ebony here. I am a Clark Atlanta University as well as Howard University alumni, also the owner of Trinity Financial Management Solutions.
Good morning. My name is Caitlin Reed. I'm an intern at AT&T and a rising senior at Spelman College.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Preston Cherry. I go to Kennesaw State University, and currently I am attending AT&T for an internship in external affairs.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Courtney Spencer. I serve as the Special Projects Lead with the Department of Grants and Community Development with the City of Atlanta. And speaking of HBCUs, I'm a proud graduate of the Albany State University.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, Linda Adams, Vine City resident.
Hey, good morning. Michael Ruffin, Director of External Affairs for AT&T. Been in Atlanta for the last 2 years, and I'm proud to be with my interns this morning and wanted to get them out in the community. And I thought this would be a perfect fit. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Herman Howard, and I'm one of 2 co-founding partners for the design and planning firm of Tate Hansen. And I had the pleasure of teaching at Georgia Tech School of Architecture for a number of years. And now I'm part of the Design and Planning Commission for all of Georgia Tech. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Steve Wilson. I am a home on the West Side resident at 850 Proctor, and I'm just your average friendly neighborhood troublemaker. So.
This is also my neighbor. Lives right next to me. He has the best herb garden in all of West Side. Challenge you on it. Come on by. So I'm Sean Watwood. I'm Senior Director of Corporate Philanthropy for Morehouse School of Medicine, proud English Avenue neighborhood. Right there next to him, Catherine Johnson Park. And my niece is a freshman at Clark.
Good morning. I'm Ashley Todd. I am an Ashview Heights resident and a fundraising professional with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Bellows, and I'm here with my new neighbors. This is Gregory and his wife, Joanna. So we're just going to be thanking for them to come into the neighborhood.
Well, good morning. As you know, my name is Greg Madison. I'm the author and founder of Standing in Awe publications, over 20 books on leading people from the darkness of addiction to the light of Christ.
Good morning, everyone. I am Joanna Madison. I am Gregory Madison's wife.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shirley Coleman. I'm Director of Development and Marketing with the Sadie G. Mays Health and Rehabilitation Center, 206-bed skilled nursing facility right here in Dixie Hills. And I also grew up on the west side, which was Simpson Road at that time, is now Joseph Boone. And I'm a Spelman grad.
Good morning. My name is Bob Dickinson. I am the Executive Director and founder of STEAM Sports Foundation. STEAM is in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, which most of you probably know. We provide scholarships for minority females who aspire to careers in automotive or motorsports engineering.
Good morning. Michael Lucas with the Atlanta Volunteer Lawyers Foundation. And after several years of a satellite office in Hollis, I'm proud to say our organization's headquarters is now at the intersection of Boone and Lowry in the Quest building. So happy to be here.
Good morning. I am Kathleen Bryant from Partners in Change. We are providing free life coaching for adults pursuing new goals. So spread the word.
Good morning, Ross Cathy, and I'm John's barber.
That's some hard work.
Hi, my name is Greg Wynn. This is my wife, Tamara Wynn, and we are new contractors for the Westside Future Fund. So we wanted to come and introduce ourselves to the neighborhood. So we plan to be a partner with the Westside Future Fund for quite some time, building new homes and renovating new homes in the neighborhood. And my wife is a proud graduate of Southern University. I am a proud attendee. I heard a young lady say Albany. Go Fort Valley Wildcats, thank you very much. I think we're the best HBCU in the South, so I just wanted to reach in and say that out to her. Thank you. Yeah, I'll go this way, I'm sorry.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Myrna Clayton. I am a proud graduate of Atlanta Public Schools, proud graduate of Atlanta University, and long-time resident of the West Side. I'm also executive director of Showability. We're all about accessibility for talented persons across the disability spectrum. If you haven't seen the Forbes article on Accessibility 100, I encourage you to check that out because it's what we need to know in America about access for all people, no exclusions. And please don't exclude the disability community.
Good morning. My name is Michele Ogden, and I work at Spelman College in the Office of Career Planning and Development. It's great to see some students and some interns here today. And if anybody is hiring for interns, please let me know because Spelman is the #1 HBCU.
Well, this is a safe one. I'm Reverend Sean Smith. I pastor New Horizon Baptist Church on the west side, and I also serve the Honorable Mayor Andre Dickens as a Senior Advisor for Faith Affairs.
Good morning. I'm David Edwards. I'm the Policy Advisor for Neighborhoods in the Mayor's Office, City of Atlanta.
All right, before we wind up, does anyone we skip really want to get introduced? Raise your hand. I see one person at least. Right.
Maria Supporta of Supporta Report and Atlanta Way 2.0.
Oh, sorry, Neil.
Neil,
Hi, good morning. I'm Neil Shorthouse with Partners in Change. Weekly life coaching for adults. 52 weeks can change your life.
All right, thank you for taking the time to do that. And back to our devotion where you talked about, grabbing our own brick. And I think one of the things I really appreciate about the devotions is so much of what we need to get done is just residing in the room. And so as you listen to the introductions this morning, maybe you thought of someone you'd like to get to know, or maybe you could be of service to someone, but kind of back to kind of walking and taking your own brick. That a big reason we take the time to do the devotion is helping build the community by getting to know each other. So we really would encourage, that networking after the Transform Westside Summit. So maybe just give yourself a round. We take the time to do that. Thank you very much. And next up, please clap. Give me a little. I was kind of hanging there. But next up, I'm going to introduce our speaker for this morning. I'm really excited because I've heard the presentation, and it's a dynamite presentation. So Courtney is going to give a presentation, then he's going to take some Q&A from the audience. But as an introduction, Courtney is an Atlanta native, an Atlanta public school graduate. He made history as the youngest person elected citywide in Atlanta to the Atlanta School Board. So he got elected to the Atlanta School Board, then he became chair of the Atlanta School Board, championed a number of important reforms while on the school board, including helping raise graduation rates, raising teacher pay. Once having served on the Atlanta School Board, he went and worked with one of our leading affordable housing developers, and he worked hard on wraparound services and community services through his not-for-profit work. And a big part of his work was setting up programs during COVID to prevent evictions during the housing crisis. And now, as the mayor's chief policy advisor and senior advisor to Mayor Dickens, he's leading the whole approach of the mayor to focus on some of Atlanta's most challenged neighborhoods. And we're really lucky at the Westside Future Fund because Courtney serves on our board of directors representing the mayor. So we appreciate that. We're also glad David Edwards here this morning, also working with the mayor on the neighborhood transformation work. And so we're really excited for y'all to be able to hear this morning, about the mayor's work, led by Courtney. And some of the neighborhoods they're focused on, you'll hear, but also include English Avenue, Vine City, along with others along the Donnelly-Howell corridor and other parts of our city. So please, and I should also tee up the presentation, and when Courtney gets to the end of it, some of what Courtney is going to outline is some of the help that's really needed to advance this vision. So I know part of what we'll talk about in the Q&A is how you can help, move the work forward. So please join me in welcoming Courtney.
Good morning, everybody. How are you all? Good morning. All right. My name is Courtney English. I am the Chief Policy Officer for the City of Atlanta and Senior Advisor to our Mayor, Mayor Andre Dickens. More importantly, I'm a native Atlantan, born and raised right here in the City of Atlanta, proud graduate of the Atlanta Public School System. I actually taught 7th grade social studies in the same room I took 7th grade social studies after I graduated from Morehouse College. I'll start with a brief story. I mentioned that I was born and raised here in the city of Atlanta, but I actually never attended the school in my neighborhood. The school in my neighborhood was one of the lowest performing schools, not just in the Atlanta public school system, but really in the entire state of Georgia, and my mom just wasn't having it. And so we did, now this is only between us and whoever's watching online. So she did what a lot of parents find themselves doing is the address hustle. And so for you polite folks who don't know what the address hustle is where you write down on a sheet of paper that you live with a friend, family member across town, so you can go to a better school across town. Essentially, I watched my mom fight with government to give me the education she knew I deserved. Because of her fight, I graduated went to Collier Heights Elementary School, ultimately graduated from the finest high school in the Atlanta public school system, Frederick Douglass High School, for any of those who are confused. See, it's always one. It's always one. Yeah, so, 2 or 3. Love, yeah, okay. So, the finest high school, Frederick Douglass High School. Because of our fight, I got elected to the school board, did all that cool stuff that John talked about earlier. But the truth of it is, no parent should have to fight to give their kid a good education. It's what every child deserves. During my time in the classroom, I was working with a young man, working with an entire class, and I had a young man who was doing things I didn't want him to be doing. Let's just put it that way. And I knew the problem couldn't be me because I was an awesome teacher. I was amazing. As the Morehouse man that I am, it's certainly not my instruction. No, but the young man was sitting in the back of the classroom, and he was just, nutting up, essentially. And I pulled him out of the classroom. And essentially, I asked him, hey, what's going on, brother? Like, talk to me. And he just simply said that, the stuff you're teaching isn't going to help me feed my little sister tonight. And this young man had a household at 12 years old, and he was exactly right. I tell that story simply because all of what I do, my entire viewpoint through public service is really designed to two things. I'm trying to make life easier for folks like my mom, and I'm trying to make life easier for folks like the former student I once taught. So let's get into it, a little bit about the work here at the mayor's office as it relates to neighborhood revitalization. The broad goal of our mayor is to make Atlanta the best place in the country to raise a child. To make Atlanta the best place in the country to raise a child. In order to make that vision a reality, we believe that we have to build a city of healthy, whole, connected neighborhoods where folks are safe, they can work their way up the economic ladder, and ultimately live choice-filled lives. Unfortunately, though, we've got to face some harsh truths about what makes it hard for some folks to get ahead in the city of Atlanta. If you were to envision a dotted line from northwest Atlanta to southwest Atlanta, what you will find is that opportunity is concentrated above that line. Above that line are mostly our white neighbors, our white brothers and sisters. Below it is mostly African American. Above that line is where the city's affluence is mostly concentrated. Below it, there's a mixture of incomes, but it's certainly the areas where poverty is most concentrated in our city. Now, the truth about that is that this did not happen by accident. In fact, it happened through years of malicious policy decisions that were designed to segregate the city. They were designed to segregate folks based on race and class. They were designed, these policies were designed to starve certain communities of amenities and access. And you do that over a period of time, you get certain disparate outcomes. And what I'm getting at, I'll show you what those disparate outcomes look like. So remember, dotted line from northwest Atlanta to southwest Atlanta. I'm sorry, northwest Atlanta to southeast Atlanta. The number of kids living in poverty, you get a very different picture above the line versus the number of folks who live in poverty below it. High school completion rates are different for folks who live above the line and folks who live below it. Residents who are uninsured, very different picture for folks who live above the line and folks who live below it. Folks who have access to internet. Folks who are rent burdened, meaning you pay more than 30% of your income towards housing. Very different picture above it than below it. Folks who have diabetes. It doesn't matter the stat that you throw at, it's gonna say the same thing over and over and over again. Whether you're talking about car ownership, home ownership, literacy rates, incarceration rates, you name it, it's going to paint a tale of two cities for folks who live above the line and folks who live below that line. Now, perhaps the most damning fact of them all is that when you look at zip codes 30308 and 30305 and 30318, where I live today, where I went to elementary school, where our mayor lives, and 30305, which is about 7 miles away, where the governor lives, there's a 20-year life expectancy gap between those neighborhoods. So 7 miles, 20 years of life, literally, think about time spent with your family, separates those specific neighborhoods. Now, these outcomes didn't happen by accident. The system is not broken. In fact, the system is actually working exactly as it is intended to work. The system, because of those malicious policy decisions that we talked about earlier, is functioning exactly how it's supposed to work. What that ultimately means is that without intervention, it will keep functioning how it was designed to work. It no longer requires active participation. It simply requires our silence or our inaction. Just a quick note about schools. We talked a lot about neighborhood health. We think a lot about neighborhood health as the core of the mayor's neighborhood revitalization effort. There is not a single school in the Atlanta public school system that is outperforming the health of its neighborhood. Without fail, student proficiency, student performance is directly tied to the health of the neighborhood is in. Without fail. So Now, for folks who are sitting in the audience thinking, well, what does this mean on a macro level? What does this mean for the city, right? Like, you know, can we continue to exist as a tale of two cities? I would offer, simply put, that the answer is no. We are seeing what happens when inequity plays out at a citywide level across the country. A few things come to mind. Because the bulk of your buyers are in the middle, the bulk of America became America because we built the strongest middle class, right? So sooner or later, if you create pockets of opportunity or pockets of haves and have-nots, sooner or later, the middle class dissolves. The base of your economy falls out. It collapses, actually. That city's called, next slide, Detroit, right? Or you create pockets of haves and pockets of have-nots, and in those pockets of have-nots, you end up with 600 murders a year. That city's called Chicago. Or you just price everybody out of your city. That city is called San Francisco. So we don't have to guess about where inequality leads. We are literally staring it in the face as we look at cities across the country. Our question simply before us today is, who will we choose to be? Who will we choose to be? This is not guesswork. So we believe in the city of Atlanta that in order to make Atlanta the best place in the country to raise a child, we have to face those harsh truths. We have to dive into some neighborhoods and bring about the kinds of amenities, the kinds of things that candidly they have been starved for quite some time. Things that make up neighborhood health, simply put, access to high quality education starting at age 0. Access to commercial and economic development, the presence of mixed income housing, the presence of green space. Of course, we want all of our neighborhoods to be safe and healthy. The presence of trails of connectivity and reliable public transit. When all of these ingredients are in place, we see those outcomes that we talked about earlier turn around. And so in a healthy neighborhood, you have all of these things kind of working together to ensure that everybody can ultimately live a choice-filled life. And so the mayor's strategy is geared at bringing these types of things into neighborhoods where they have been starved previously. So we're concentrating on a few key corridors. The blue area in the center represents downtown Atlanta, and then the top left-hand corner of the map represents the entirety of the Hollowell corridor, or for folks who are born and raised in Atlanta, I still say Bankhead, but if you want to be polite, we could say Hollowell Highway. But from Northside Drive to the edge of the city, the bottom left-hand corner represents the entirety of the Campbellton Road corridor, and then the bottom right-hand of the map is Thomasville Heights. Thomasville Heights is actually the poorest census tract in the entire state of Georgia. So think about that for a second. The poorest place in the state of Georgia isn't rural Georgia, isn't North Georgia, Middle Georgia, South Georgia. It is 12 minutes away from City Hall and our state capital, Thomasville Heights. So what do these investments look like? Two things: investments in people and investments in place. Investments in place meaning we are going to build things that we're lacking inside of the neighborhood. Right? We're going to put more mixed income, affordable housing inside of the neighborhood. We are going to ensure that neighborhoods have access to things like grocery stores. We are going to ensure that neighborhoods have access to parks, green space, trails. It means the basic infrastructure needed to allow people to move back and forth and ultimately live that choice-filled life. Investments in people. It means that we're going to do everything we can to hold on to legacy residents. We're going to invest in programs like owner-occupied rehab. We're going to invest in things like early childhood education. We're going to invest in things like our anti-displacement tax fund, which freezes folks' property taxes for a 20-year period. It means the stuff that we've got to put into somebody's house to help them right here, right now. When we do those things over time, combined with dependable government, community empowerment, and partnership, we believe we'll arrive at the goal of making Atlanta the best place in the country to raise a child. So we've been working on this strategy for the better part of 2 years, and we've been seeing some results. We have made the investments inside of these neighborhoods already. If you remember, a few years ago, the mayor declared 2023 as the year of the youth. During Year to Youth, we made some deep investments that addressed ultimately the root causes of crime. We work with our kids a lot. We raised $30 million, $22 million went directly to support early childhood education, the city's first and largest investment in early childhood education in the city's history. We expanded after school program, we expanded mentorship opportunities, we expanded diversion, we expanded access to health and food services, so on and so forth, and some things happened. So during that year alone, right, Atlanta saw a 21% drop in homicides. We're at 27% now. During that year alone, we had the 4th highest drop in violent crime than any major city in the country. Youth crime went down by 56%. Youth crime went down by 56% because we also, we can clap for that, amen. We also hired 15,000, today we've hired 15,000 young people and paid them all living wage. We've delivered or in the process of delivering 11,000 units of affordable housing. We've got a historic credit rate now. The point I'm making is we think we're on to something with this particular strategy. Particularly as it relates to the West Side. We made deep investments because the West Side Future Fund is in the footprint of neighborhoods we are working on. 182 households received property tax relief. 57 households got owner-occupied rehab grants averaging $30,000. 100 folks got access to down payment assistance. 260 small businesses were helped. 2,000 good jobs means permanent and they pay a living wage. Good jobs were either created or retained in this particular footprint, and we delivered 1,500 units of affordable housing. So, again, going back to investments in people and investments in place. How do we pay for all of this stuff? So the programmatic projects are the investments in people. The capital projects are investments in place. Things like new transit lines, affordable housing, small business, improvement grants, environmental remediation, so on and so forth. How do we pay for it? So there are a number of tools that the city has at its disposal, mainly TADs. TADs represent tax allocation districts. A tax allocation district, without going too deep into the weeds, it says if your property or a property in a certain area is worth $5, the value of that property goes to $6. Instead of that extra dollar coming back to the city government, we're going to take that extra dollar and reinvest it in the community. That's all a TAD is, right? So there are 8 TADs currently operating in the city of Atlanta. You know them. If you think about how many people remember what Atlantic Station was before it was Atlantic Station? It was a steel mill, right? So Atlantic Station became Atlantic Station because of a TAD. How many people remember what Camp Creek Marketplace was before it was Camp Creek Marketplace? What was it? It was just grass, basically. It was kind of grass. And so if you've ever visited Camp Creek Marketplace, you see all the cool stuff. That is the function of a TAD doing its work. The most famous TAD of them all is probably the Beltline TAD. So if you've ever enjoyed your time on the East Side Trail, that's what it was made possible through a TAD. Long story short, we have an intent to extend all of the TADs in the city. The West Side Future Fund resides in what we call the West Side TAD. Actually, it intersects with two other TADs, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, when we make these investments, they generate millions of dollars for us to be able to spend on all the things that we have talked about in a second. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But all TADs don't necessarily function how they should. They work really, really well when we've got all jurisdictions participating, when we're able to borrow money up front and deploy that money to do catalytic projects in the area. There's a clear, well-defined project list, and then there's an organizing body like the Westside Future Fund that helps us guide, steer, and direct this particular body of work or steer these investments. To date, TADs have done a lot to actually support the work in the Westside Future Fund footprint and on the West Side in generally. Many, if not all of these projects have been done in conjunction with the work of the Westside Future Fund or the Grove Park Foundation and other community-based organizations. We've invested $47 million from the Westside TAD has gone to improve the quality of life inside the neighborhoods over the last 5 years. Westside Future Fund, again, touches 3 TADs, the Beltline TAD, the Westside TAD, and the Hollowell MLK TAD. And so there are 3 different TADs that kind of touch the footprint one way or the other. All of our TADs are slated to expire in 2030. And so if we lose the funding mechanism or we lose our ability to invest in these kinds of community-based programs, then we will be leaving folks to the whims of the market. Said another way, the market is going to do what the market is going to do, meaning as prices rise, if we don't have the ability to build more affordable housing, or we don't have the ability to buy land, or we don't have the ability to buy grocery or build grocery stores like we're doing in certain parts of the community, the market will continue to displace people, flat out. And so we're looking to extend the TADs in order to make these kinds of investments and turn around the disparate incomes that we talked about earlier. I talked about that a little bit. We're looking to extend the TADs, issue debt against them, and then invest those back into our neighborhoods. This gives you a bit of an idea around how much money, the power, the economic power that can be generated by TADs. This is a very conservative estimate, and this is just for the West Side. This is just for the West Side. We're not even talking about the other TADs, West Side and Beltline, I should say. So conservative estimate, 15 years, generate $1.2 billion for the West Side TAD, and another $2.7 billion for the Beltline TAD. Approximately $674 million of that will go into the West Side Future Fund footprint. That money can represent $115 million for affordable housing, $10 million for health centers, $5 million for small businesses, $96 million for trails and green space, $17 million to support public infrastructure, and $430 million to expand transit networks because we want our communities to be connected. So we need your help to move this group project forward. One, we want you engaged, involved. We meet monthly, actually. There's working groups for every single neighborhood that touches the Hollowell corridor. We work hand in glove with the Westside Future Fund. There's a whole project team. We went back and looked at every single neighborhood revitalization project that Atlanta had drafted in the last 30 years. And we reprioritize those projects in a way that will give us the most bang for our buck in terms of turning around those disparate outcomes that we talked about earlier. And so, we need your help. We need you to plug into those meetings. We need your voice. We need your ideas. We need your energy. We need your hearts because you deeply care about the communities in which you live, work, and ultimately serve. The last thing I'll say is this. I talked a little bit about kind of the dark side, that tale of two cities in Atlanta. I don't want anybody thinking that this is an insurmountable, impossible problem to tackle. Atlanta has a rich history of tackling big problems. Maynard Jackson taught us how to bring the city together and create an economic engine and built the world's busiest and most efficient airport. Then he turned around and gave power back to the people when he created the MPU system. Andrew Young opened up the city and made Atlanta an international city, an international powerhouse. Mayor Bill Campbell taught us how to rethink housing in the city. Mayor Shirley Franklin taught us how to rebuild a city's infrastructure. Mayor Cassine Reed taught us how to deal with crushing pension debt. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms helped us navigate the pandemic. The point I'm getting at is we do big things well when we put our minds to it. There's nothing wrong with the city of Atlanta that can't be solved by what's right with the city of Atlanta. And folks in this room represent what's right with the city of Atlanta. The last thing I'll say is this, and I'll be quiet and do whatever else John tells me to do, is that my favorite quote simply says that in the darkness, crimes will be committed. In the darkness, crimes will be committed. But the guilty ones aren't just those who committed the crimes, but those who created the darkness. And I believe, and we believe, our mayor believes that our collective job is to light up that darkness. So thank y'all for your time. Happy to take questions.
There's questions. One would be, just talk about the timeline for getting the re-extension.
Yeah.
And one thing I appreciate, you might comment on this too. We have every confidence we all want to, about the mayor's re-election. And I think what's also important for folks to understand is we have a window in time where we have a political leader and our mayor to really lock this down. So I think, the other part for folks to understand is kind of the urgency of the window we have.
Yeah. So I think, John, you are exactly right. We are moving aggressively to advance this strategy for all the reasons that you articulated, but one simple reason jumps out. We can't wait. Every day we wait, it means folks are being displaced out of their neighborhoods. It means more and more folks are falling into homelessness because they found themselves with more month than they had money. Every day we wait, another business closes its doors. Every day we wait, we see our neighborhoods fall further and further in disrepair, or they become more and more ripe for displacement caused by gentrification. And so now is the time where we do have a mayor. We've got a forward-thinking city council who is open to these kind of place-based revitalization ideas. And so we got to go. We got to go. And so we are looking to ask the city council in very short order to go ahead and help us punch the ticket on the TAD extension, and we'll be following that up with our counterparts at Fulton County and APS, because all of the taxing jurisdictions, your school system, y'all know the school system takes 50% of your taxes. Right. Okay. So the school system's got to participate. The county's got to participate as well. And so we're looking to move with urgency in the next few months to go ahead and unlock the resources that we've talked about here today.
Thanks. If you have a question, raise your hand, and I'll come. I see Maria, then I saw you too.
Courtney, how are conversations going with Fulton County and Atlanta Public Schools? And I know we are in a strange time. Nobody knows what's happening in terms of federal, local funding relations. And would the city of Atlanta go alone, or do you need APS and Fulton County to make this successful?
So I'll say conversations are productive. Folks are open to the idea, and they're ongoing. And so we've got some convincing to do. And part of that convincing means evangelizing or enrolling folks in this room to help us go talk to folks who represent those various bodies. But people are open because they understand the moment of urgency. I do want to highlight something you said that was very important that I didn't say, but you talked about the federal government. What's equally important is that help is not coming from Washington. And we also have to make decisions that are almost federal proof the city of Atlanta. The other day, the Beltline lost tens of millions of dollars in federal funding to bring internet around the entire Beltline. We got word a week ago that one of our major housing projects is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars of funding. Stitch funding is on the chopping block. So help is not coming from Washington. Full stop. And so if we want to continue this work, if we want to keep building more and more affordable housing or mixed income housing, if we care about grocery, if we care about infrastructure in our city, we're going to have to do it ourselves. And what this opportunity represents is a chance to do that without actually raising taxes on anybody. And so that this moment, to your point, John, we got to go right now.
First of all, thank you very much. I really just wanted to say thank you, because I know I come from Toledo, Ohio, near Detroit, and I watched that community just fall apart because of lack of integrity, also with John and things they're doing. So I just want to praise you and just pray that you keep that integrity. And I know the mayor, and I've had some time with him. So I just want to say keep the integrity. I think that's the main thing is as we gain more power, and you're very impressive, I just pray that God covers you and keeps the integrity, because that's going to keep everybody working hard. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hi, again, my name is Britt, and I'm a Grove Park resident. This is the second time I've seen this presentation. It gets better every time, so shout out to you. I want to echo what's your name? What Matthew was just saying. This is my 7th city that I've lived in. This is the only city where I've purchased a home. So my civic engagement has gone up significantly, and I learned that lesson living in Harlem. I lived in a brownstone, and a white person moved up above me, and he came down one day and said, "Why is this trash still here?" And I was like, "I don't know, it's always here." He said, well, it can't be here. It's supposed to have been picked up on Tuesday. So he made a phone call, and we didn't have that problem anymore. And I noticed that when I come into this community, when we have legacy residents, older, just a lot of just people who have not been invested in, they don't engage themselves anymore in the small things, right? And so I love the group project idea, sign me up, but what are some of the small, tangible things that residents can be doing to be a part of this movement versus being given information about the movement?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. Broadly, so again, we meet monthly, literally. And so the way this work is essentially organized, we've got neighborhood partner organizations along each one of these corridors. Westside Future Fund, Grove Park Foundation, and the West Hallowell Foundation, particularly for the West Side, then a few others in the other corridors. And so one is show up, right? And I know folks are busy, but to the extent you can, just pull up to one of the meetings, because we need to hear your voice. We need to hear your ideas. Candidly, we need to hear the problems that are, you know, we had the meeting the other 2 weeks ago, and, you know, if we got streets that are broken and need to be fixed, I'm going to do everything in our power to fix them. For one simple reason, because so much trust has been broken between community and government. Like, I'm going to show up with solutions. Our mayor has authorized me to say, hey, look, if you got a thing that's happening in one of the neighborhoods, try to get it fixed as fast as humanly possible. I can't guarantee the world. What I can guarantee you is effort and responsiveness and transparency about the problems that we face. And so one is showing up, bring somebody with you. Because what has happened, our project list is evolving, and it's actually informed by community. And so when we thought through that list of projects, it wasn't us, it was folks telling us what they wanted to see. And so again, we meet monthly. I don't know, John, you can share when those, but David, somebody, one of y'all can give out the details about when the meetings are. We'll make sure y'all have that, but showing up is gonna be the most important part.
We do kind of host a neighborhood working group for English Avenue, Vine City. There's also one for Grove Park and the West Howell Foundation, but the one for English Avenue, Vine City, I know some of y'all have attended, but it's monthly, and the next one is this Monday at 5:30. And so if you want to come, this Monday at 5:30, it's over our offices on 970 Jefferson Street. You can just let me know, or Sonia or someone here, if you want to come to that meeting and get engaged. And as Courtney said, a lot of the meeting is aligning and getting updated. The meetings are great because a lot of high-level folks from the city come to talk about what they're doing and get input from the committee, what needs to be prioritized. All right.
Thank you. I too live in Collier Heights, which is where the mayor lives. I don't know where you live, if you live there or not, and have been a long-term resident there, and high school on to current. And there's a unique difference between neighborhood planning organizations and the NPU and the existing current structure that we brag about that our mayor, Maynard Jackson, created. There's a disconnect that exists right now, and if I can be the crying out canary and the yellow canary and that there's a disconnect. And so, first of all, West Hallowell is new. Never heard of it. I'm in Collier Heights. And while we separate by Hallowell, the connected neighborhoods are not the connected communities are not represented. And so there's a disconnect between the NPUs and the communities and the neighborhood planning organizations. And so there needs to be something there. If community is involved with their neighborhoods, their communities, not neighborhoods, because there's a distinction.
Yes.
And so if they're coming to those meetings, and then there are additional meetings that are there, then those folks that are coming to, they're getting paid to be at these meetings. And community folks are not getting paid to be at these meetings. And you're wanting community ideas, but they're getting paid for those ideas, and community is not. And so there's, again, if we boast about the NPUs, but the NPUs are not being effective or utilized because of the neighborhood planning organizations, then there's got to be something. And so I ask you, what can you do to ensure that the communities are being heard and represented? Because a lot of decisions are being made, and we're finding out about it after the fact, and we can't do anything about it or have our voice heard when that's not being done.
Yeah. So first thing I'll say is I have an open door, really an open mind and open heart policy. And so you can always, I want to assure you that as long as I exist, as long as this mayor exists, you can always do something about it. And that's just a conversation, right? So heard about the disconnect. Number two, I would say is we'll come to you. And so, you know, if for whatever reason folks can't show up on this Monday or the Monday next month, you tell me where to be, and I'll come hauling. I'll make David and Pastor Sean and a whole crew of folks come show up, whether it's sitting on your porch or sitting in your church or sitting in the school cafeteria. We'll come to you and let's talk. And let's continue talking, and let's not stop talking, and let's keep that conversation going until you see the results and your voice reflected in that work. And so we do have a structure that is open, so anybody can show up to these meetings. We don't turn folks away. And so, but if that doesn't work, let me know what works better for you and for the folks in your immediate, whether it's Collier Heights or otherwise. We'll come to you.
While at Morehouse, Dr. Mays used to say our job here at Morehouse is to stamp out mediocrity. How do you feel your liberal arts education has enabled you to grasp that and pass it on, and also to have a Nehemiah type attitude that each one reach one?
The Morehouse man. Look, you know, I mean, you said it. I come from good roots and good stock, and it was embedded in me that, you know, we were all here to give back. We are all here. We were blessed with certain gifts. And our entire being, or I believe our entire being, is to be of service to one another, to be in service with one another. And so that's what I've tried to do. That's what our mayor wakes up every single day and tries to do. That's why we talk about the group project often. You know, he would say he doesn't draw lines, he draws circles, because he tries to be inclusive. And we're trying everything we can to move the city forward in an inclusive fashion. So I could give y'all a Morehouse commercial, but I'm not. So.
Hi. So early education was mentioned on the presentation. There's a case where children with disabilities or those who have behavioral needs are being excluded and suspended from those institutions, and little is known about what happens after that exclusion or suspension. Can you speak more to what the focus is around early education, specifically with children with disabilities and behavioral needs?
So our work in early ed really in conjunction with our school system. Our superintendent, Dr. Brian Johnson, is a big believer in the idea that we have to get to universal early childhood education. One, which helps obviously with the kids being prepared when they go to APS schools, but it also helps candidly with childcare, right? And so if you can send your child to a safe environment where they are going to learn, it frees up your time to go do other things, whether it's work, job, career, education, so on and so forth. People who have money usually use their money to buy more time. And so what kind of traps folks on the lower end of the economic spectrum is something as simple as childcare. And so we want to get to universal early childhood education. We have not gone, we're not in depth on how that will be funded, and we're certainly not anywhere near talking about what we got to do for kids with special needs. But those conversations are ongoing. You are at the ground floor of the movement. This ain't, we're not at level 10, and we're certainly not at the penthouse. So we will co-create that solution. So I would love to hear your ideas. The other thing I'll say just on that point is, and a little bit to your point, I want to stress that, like, we do not have a monopoly on good ideas. We recognize that we don't know everything. We approach this work with a deep sense of humility. And when I hear stuff like that, I want you to know that, because if you say something that I hadn't thought about, I'm going to tell you that. And then I'm going to say, cool, tell me more, and let's figure out how to incorporate that. I hope that doesn't freak anybody out, because sometimes people stand on stages like this and they present themselves like they have all the answers. We certainly do not. Somebody shows up and they say they have all the answers, they're probably lying to you, but All right, I'm off track. Anyway, but know that we want to hear things like that. We want to know about the disconnects that happen so we can solve them.
Hi, Courtney. Alex Easterling here. I'm also a fellow Morehouse man as well. I run a youth organization called Athletes Mean Excellence. I'm here on behalf of the youth. So now that we're speaking about youth initiatives, we want to see how can we also get engaged, or how can we partner with the city of Atlanta to make sure that we're doing everything necessary. One thing that I commend you guys on, one thing that I wanted to show is the 57% on our youth crime and gun violence that's dropping. I want to commend you guys on that. And the reason being is because it's the #1 cause of death amongst our youth nationwide, and Atlanta influences everything, and our organization partners with national organizations, and we do things across the globe. We want to see how can we continue your efforts to also touch communities that aren't necessarily exposed to what we're exposed to here in Atlanta, and your type of leadership. That way we can also make sure that it spreads at a national level, because our youth is, like you said, our future and things that matter to our communities and keeping us safe.
Yeah, so I'll say two quick things. One is get involved with our youth development grants. Our youth development grants program is what it sounds like. We give money to youth serving organizations up to $50,000. We're about to roll that out in August. Part of, again, the secret sauce that was behind Year to Youth was us literally giving money to folks in neighborhoods already doing good work to support our youth. So that wasn't us, it was us empowering people like you who are doing good work. The second thing is, are we on the record? Is Maria gonna print this? Okay, no, I'm just saying, I'm not going, so the superintendent, Dr. Brian Johnson, and the mayor are working on a thing. That will create a very large table, a very large youth-focused table that will be big tent that will allow us to bring folks in and ultimately empower people who are touching young people. So I'm not going to spoil that news, but more stuff forthcoming.
I know there are more questions. So I apologize. We try to come by at 9 o'clock. And I know Courtney and his team could be available, if not this morning, in other venues to answer further questions. I know we didn't get to everyone today. I want to say, thank you, Courtney, for leading this, and also, what I really appreciate, because part of, I live in Vine City and know other folks too, is you drive around and live and see the results of that disinvestment, the streets, the sidewalks, the blight, and what this TAD funding renewal offers, because often neighborhoods, don't receive the investment until they're much more developed.
Yes.
And so what the TADs offer is a way to, infuse investment, and in the case of English Avenue and Vine City, getting that West Side TAD renewed could really, really, make an enormous difference in the quality of life for people in these neighborhoods. So we know what's really important, because we know it's not just the Atlanta City Council, but the Fulton County Commission, the Atlanta School Board, is how we can advocate. And as Courtney said, the project list that they're really going to use to guide what happens with the renewal and the TAD funding, in the case of the West Side TAD, please come to the neighborhood working group meetings that we're hosting so you can see that and have input on that list as well. But let's thank Courtney again for being here this morning and all the work.
Thanks, John. Thanks, everybody.
And we want to end it up with our drawings, our Home Depot gift card and our Goodwill gift card. So Ebony's going to call a number. If you have that number, you're the lucky winner of a gift card.
Okay, I'll keep talking. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so Home Depot Foundation gift card giveaway. We'll call this orange. Orange winning ticket number is 419088. 419088. Miss Myrna, congratulations. Come up when we get done, okay? As soon as we get done, come up. Thank you. Okay, Goodwill of North Georgia, as Charles said, what does Goodwill do? Put people to work. Appreciate your work. The winning white ticket number is 3140508. 3140508. Anybody? 3140508. Okay, moving on. 3140516. 3140516. Hey, Ebony. Okay, come up when we get done, okay? Congratulations. Okay, I'm done. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. We also want to thank, as always, we thank Chick-fil-A for the complimentary breakfast. And thank you for being here this morning, and hopefully you'll come back in July. So have a great weekend. Thank you.